Hey everyone, this is Michael Cole, VP of Marketing. Today I'm joined by Daniela from Hubspot. Daniela, we'll kick off with a couple quick fire questions.
Yeah.
So first off, what is your role at Hubspot?
Yeah. So, hey, y'all, I'm Daniela Kretchmer. I am technically the head of affiliate marketing at Hubspot. So I manage all that is affiliate marketing and the team.
Nice. And for anyone who doesn't know, what does Hubspot do and how big is the company?
Yeah, so HubSpot's about 5,500 employees right now. That number might be higher. But last I checked, that's where we're kind of at. And yeah, so HubSpot is a CRM platform that does sales, marketing, customer service, content management system. So basically everything that you need to run a business and a website, that's what HubSpot is.
And as a marketer, HubSpot is legitimately mind-blowing. I've used some of your competition, and it was always more pain than value without like having a consultant. So like HubSpot's so easy, and it really blew me away how actually useful it was.
Yeah, the UI is nice, simple enough.
Yeah, for sure. Perfect. And how did you get involved with the industry in the first place of affiliate marketing?
Yeah, that's kind of a long-winded roundabout way. I feel like similar to a lot of affiliate marketers kind of fell into it. So way back when I was at a startup and was focused on growth and acquisition for that startup. So we were a team of 4 at the time, and ultimately needed to figure out where to get users. So it was for an app, like niche interest communities. And so I had to figure out where to get these users from, and ended up doing influencer marketing. Didn't really know that that was really what I was doing at the time, but partnered with a lot of YouTubers and that worked. And so just kind of doubled down on it. And then I'm giving them commissions. And again, I had no idea what affiliate marketing was at all and what I was doing, but ultimately that's what I was doing. Then from there, I moved on to Wayfair and managed partnerships and CSEs and affiliate marketing there. And that was very obviously like more established affiliate marketing. I'm like, oh, that's what I was doing. This has a name and there's a whole strategy to this. Great. And like systems to help with this. So then focused on it like on the B2C side. And then now at HubSpot, I joined HubSpot specifically to create the affiliate program here. So I've been at HubSpot for almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years, July. So came on specifically to create the program and grow it. And so now we are, as of last week, a team of 3 now. So I manage a team of 2 people. So I've grown it since then.
I mean, it's awesome. And I'm very excited to explore some of the insights and learnings you've had from growing a program for such a big company.
Yeah.
So what led you to join HubSpot in the first place?
Actually, funnily enough, my boyfriend was working at HubSpot at the time. I mean, being in Boston, you obviously know like the top companies that are here. So HubSpot was always there. And I'd previously connected with people at HubSpot years prior. But my boyfriend actually worked at HubSpot as a software developer. So it was kind of this easy in there. They had put up, I was like right when I was looking for a new role, and they happened to put up an affiliate marketing manager role. And so my boyfriend was the one to refer me. Yes, we did get the referral bonus, which was nice. So that's ultimately how I got in at HubSpot.
That's awesome. And what is one goal you want to achieve for the year?
Oh, geez. I mean, grow the program. There are so many ideas that we have. I don't think there's one specific thing right now because we did just get a new hire. It's about figuring out like prior like processes. So I mean, like that's one goal. So it's like in my mind, there are a bunch of different categories. So one goal is just get these processes down and clean, and everything has just been so scrappy. And so now taking it from this scrappy place of a team of 1, then a team of 2, and trying to manage everything to actually getting everything organized and seeing what we can do more. So with our new hire, Nancy, she came in and is now focused on our tier 1 partnerships. So these one-to-one relationships where previously we haven't, like we've wanted to do more and more with our top tier partners, but we haven't had the time just because there's not enough time in the day. So right now, like that's a big strategy is, all right, we have these partners. What else can we do with them where we haven't had time to figure all of this stuff out? So that is a big part of it, while at the same time organizing everything else. And then there are a bunch of other obviously plays that we're excited about and hopefully can execute. Yeah, so a bunch of different things that I'm excited for, but especially like focusing on this tier one and really doubling down with our highest partnerships and seeing what else we can do.
That's awesome. And definitely, I can empathize entirely. And it's always exciting when you can actually get a process that's consistent, because it's always going to just be throwing stuff at the wall. And then as you add people, you're hoping that those people will start stapling it in.
Yeah, yeah. It'd be nice. It'd be nice once we get there.
Cool. So let's kick off with some discussion topics. So first off, what is the biggest insight you've learned from managing HubSpot's affiliate program that you wish you had known sooner?
Oh, intriguing. I wish I had known probably the willingness of other companies to work with us. Like, it's kind of funny to say, but like, obviously being in the partnership space though, like, obviously other companies are willing to work with you. But if you think about it, it's like, this is a long and rambly way of saying meeting other B2B managers and working with them sooner. So it took me probably a couple of years to figure that out and start meeting people. But then once I started speaking to other managers in the industry, I realized, oh, right, everyone's just a person at the end of the day, and we all have shared goals. And even if it is a competing company, and I think this is the biggest insight, even if I'm like technically a direct competitor in some of these tools that HubSpot has, so like, for example, in the email marketing space, so HubSpot has email marketing. I've connected with other B2B affiliate managers in email marketing, and we shared insights. We've figured out ways to collaborate. And so I wish I had thought, like, realized that sooner. And it's kind of this interesting thing, because it's like, typically stay away from the competitor. You can't interact with them. But at the end of the day, like, I'm thinking to myself, wait, I want to reach out to those people. They're in my same role. Chances are they probably want to reach out to me too, if that's the case, because we're all probably thinking the same thing, which is typically just growth and scale. And what else can I do? And where else can I acquire more users and customers? So I think that's the biggest insight, is the willingness of other people, and like realizing, like, I wish I had realized that sooner, of the willingness of other people sharing that goal and wanting to work with you on that shared goal, regardless of what may be considered like not okay because it's a competing company.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And especially like with B2B partnership programs and everything, this is all, well, these things have all been done to some degree. It's a pretty undiscovered land for how far you can take these partnerships with a performance element and everything else, because in the past there weren't good ways to manage these types of relationships. So it tended to just be outside and maybe just in the CRM, but without the necessary data points to actually reward them and like expand it out further.
Yeah.
So just to unpack a little bit about that. So when you say you wish you did this sooner, like, what type of relationships have you found is like really valuable with your sort of like peers in the industry of other B2B managers?
Yeah, a couple things. So, I mean, one is just sharing insights. So just saying like, hey, what strategy worked for you? What strategy, like, share strategies. And so you don't have to figure it out yourself. So that has been incredibly helpful. Also just bouncing ideas off of each other, of saying like, hey, do you think you would be able to do this? Or like, what are your thoughts on this one? And then something even that we're exploring now is seeing, like, finding those connections to within that team. So it might not be that I'm working one-on-one with that affiliate manager, but they can connect us to their integration partner, and I can help another team, like our integration team, and just make those connections throughout the org.
Mm-hmm. And have you done any sort of like strategic partnerships where it's more referral based? Because I can see that even with the competitor to you, say an email, like a email service provider company, they probably have lots of customers that will continue to use them for email, but want to have extra reporting and features that they will never serve. It seems like those are also like good referral opportunities for you.
Yep. And that is what one of the things we want to do more of this year. So even just like today, actually this morning, we were talking about that, of what else we can do with that, because it's something that's on our mind that we want to do more of, or I guess not even do more of, but start doing. But so right now it's been a lot of like introing to other affiliates, for example. So it's not like we're just sharing lists, but asking the affiliate and just saying like, hey, I know so-and-so, would you be interested in an intro? So the nice way of sharing lists and just being helpful, because we're all here to help each other. And at the end of the day, we all have different goals, and we like, if you're going to pay more for that listing, even though we're on the same listicle, for example, congrats, you won. Like, that's fine. Like, I will never compete with you. You would have gotten to it anyways. So it really doesn't make a difference to me whether I share an affiliate with that person and share their contact information. Because for me, I'm also giving value to the affiliate. So it's building that relationship with that affiliate as well by providing them value in another way. So it's really just helping everyone at the end of the day.
I want to stop here and revisit that, because that is a super brilliant idea that I've never heard before. That just introductions to each other's affiliates between like other companies, like that's, of course it makes sense, because the reality is if there's an affiliate that is good at your vertical and they've already proven out their ability to promote stuff, they want to promote every other company like you. And they're not going to stop promoting you. If they're making money with you, they're going to continue. But it's very easy for them to also create a content piece for, say, another company that focuses on just email, or just a content piece for this. And so sharing those relationships, like that's an easy win-win, because really with all of these types of like affiliate partnerships and stuff, like it's having that personal connection that means that they focus on that versus something else. So making that introduction and then sharing affiliates between two different companies kind of solves that problem.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's really smart.
Yeah.
And then next up, so what are some of the challenges that comes with managing an affiliate program for such a massive brand?
This one's really interesting, because honestly, the biggest challenge is when companies come in, or an affiliate or publisher comes in and thinks because we are a big brand that all we do is brand placements, and that's just what we do. So the line we get all the time is, but you're HubSpot. Obviously, you can pay us X million dollars for this placement. And it cracks me up every single time, because no, that's not how we work. And it frustrates me that other companies do this. And because obviously with affiliates, all performance marketing. So it's a struggle with the other brand teams, where these companies come in thinking that, oh, well, I have another big brand that pays me on a brand placement as a flat rate. And then they come to me and go, but you're HubSpot. You obviously have the budget. You obviously, I'm like, no, like we'll give you millions if it makes sense and the performance is there, by all means. So that one always cracks me up, and probably the biggest frustration being in a big company.
That sounds so frustrating. I mean, you're still tasked with driving like ROI and clear conversions.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That sounds horrible.
I mean, hopefully sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but that is a big frustration that I've found is very unique to being a big brand at HubSpot, where people literally use the phrase of, but you're a big brand. So yeah, I mean, obviously there are like internal challenges of being a big company of 5,000 plus employees, but externally that's the challenge, being a big brand.
And have you had is there any sort of success or takeaways where, what happens when you want to work with a partner who's like a really great fit, but they're like, hey, just pay me $100,000 for this placement, and you're like, we want to work on a performance basis. Have you had any success of moving that conversation from just pay us a lot of money to let's work on performance?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Chances are they're also coming in from a negotiation standpoint. So obviously they would want a flat rate. And this is what I find so funny with negotiations in the affiliate world, because I'm very direct and I'd rather you just tell me like what's possible rather than like beat around the bush. So sometimes they're just doing that and they'd rather just have the flat rate. But at the end of the day, they do have some number that we can pay for sign up or for purchase or whatever it is that is more performance based. So sometimes it gets to that point and sometimes it doesn't. And then we just have to pass on those. So for what we've seen as success is just flat out ask, like, can we pay you for performance instead? Like, what would that look like? Sometimes I'll just say, like, what would you want? Because again, I'm just more direct and just like, what would it take? How many signups can you get with this? How many purchases can you get with this? If you were to give us X, like, you tell me what you can do. Is that even an option? And sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Well, then we just take it from there. And sometimes we do have to step away.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Providing concreteness, like how many leads how much leads will this generate? And if you can actually generate this leads, you'll make X money. So just taking it from hypothetical to something that they can actually consider.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So how does managing B2B affiliate programs differ from B2C affiliate programs?
Oh, this was the biggest thing for me. Yeah. So coming from B2C, yeah, because you obviously can't go in and like call up eBay and be like, hey, promote us. So a big difference is the time to purchase. So for B2C, that is happening instantly. Someone's going to the site and purchasing pretty much instantly. Obviously, typically it'll be 30-day attribution, but that purchase is happening immediately, like probably 80-20. So for B2B, that cycle is much longer cycle. So that presents challenges where someone is like, your publishers are expecting the money right then and there. And so that's what a big learning was starting the affiliate program at Hubspot, was figuring out how do we create those commissions. And there was a lot that was decided before I joined, unfortunately, where I couldn't come in and say, no, this is what the actual structure should be. And it was a lot of internal education that explaining how like this isn't working. Like you can't, like people want the money now. They're not going to wait weeks, months, whatever it is later to keep promoting you to then hopefully maybe get a commission down. Like that's not how this industry works. So that by far is the biggest difference, is really nailing commission and really figuring out what motivates someone, what motivates them, what they're expecting, what that timeline is, and making sure you're rewarding them at whatever path is important to that affiliate. So biggest difference is the time for everything. It's much easier, I would say, in the B2C world to tweak commissions, and you don't have to be as creative. You absolutely should be creative and definitely be creative in the B2C world, but starting out, there's not as much, like it's a little bit easier to just get started. Whereas for B2B, it's a longer cycle and you really have to think through how to reward someone along the way.
Cool. And on that, I don't know if you're willing to share, how do you structure for a standard affiliate their payout? Like what is the payout event normally?
Yeah, so for HubSpot, our payout event is for purchase, but that's exactly it. And it's still an internal battle. So it's still a struggle that it's trying to convince internally that like we need to do something initially. So in the last couple months, we've thankfully gotten approval to start testing out paying for a sooner action. So for us, that is a free sign up. So we're a freemium business. So that sign up happens that day. So we at least reward to some extent of like, we test out bonuses to say, okay, if you drove so many bonuses this month, you at least get something to keep the publishers happy and reward them and make sure we know that they are driving that and we value that. And that test that we ran, so we ran it last quarter, worked really well. So we're exploring more ways that we can iterate on that model.
That's awesome, but wow, is that challenging? So that means that to this point before last quarter, all of your affiliates were basically promoting you, and then were they receiving the data on the lead and then just waiting and then hoping that they get paid in a couple of months?
Pretty much, not all, but so not all, but for the most part, number of affiliates were getting paid on purchase. Yeah.
So do you have any tips for keeping affiliates happy? Because I feel like that is mostly about relationships at that point, for them to trust that it's moving forward.
I mean, that's why we've moved to switching to paying and being able to really make the case internally to pay for signups. I mean, this is 5 years coming at this point to finally be able to do this. So this is a very long struggle.
The fact that you even managed to prove out the program at all, to build up a team and everything else while having both hands tied behind your back, it's very impressive for sure.
Thank you.
Cool. So what are the primary broad categories of affiliates driving conversions for your program? For example, review websites would be a category.
Yep. Yeah. So review, obviously, big one. So classic affiliates, what we would call PPC affiliates. So whether it's a review site or something else where they're running ads and then making the commission on the back end, is a big category for us. Pretty much, I mean, the standard. So bloggers, obviously. So pretty much any blog about how to start a business, how to do marketing, any sort of category really, within the building business, marketing, sales, customer service, automation, all of the things that HubSpot focuses on. So blogs are a big one. We're doing more within the WordPress space. So actually theme developers have been a really interesting case for us and a group for us for the affiliate channel specifically, where they'll promote us within a WordPress theme and include us there.
That makes sense.
As well as, similar to that, integration partners. So we have a large ecosystem of integration partners, and that's something else as far as things that I want to focus on this year, is doing more with like the integration partners and partnering with that team, because we have seen really good success with integration partners. As yourselves, I mean, we're still, you and I are trying to figure that out. So funnily enough, as I'm talking, like, oh right, we were discussing that of how we can work together. But yeah, doing more of that, because we've seen it creates a stickier customer. The value is there across the board. So seeing how we can do more with integration partners within the affiliate channel as well. If there's something else that we can give a commission on to motivate an integration partner to do, maybe it's sending an extra email, maybe it's putting us in a higher placement where the otherwise might not. That has worked well. And that's a big source of our channel too.
I'm pretty sure I mention it as I mention it way too much. But especially for that integration partnership side, I highly, highly recommend testing out Crossbeam at your team, because you can basically like work with the integration partner. Both of you put in a specific curated CRM list or all of your CRM. And it's just going to say like, okay, here are HubSpot like interested prospects or leads that are their customers. And then you can basically be like, hey, is there introductions you can make on this side? And that's a really sustainable way to get them to making like active referrals that you can then work with them on a referral payout.
Yeah. I mean, any other advice you have, send it my way. Yeah, please.
It's definitely working really well for us, and we've been scaling up that playbook quite a bit in the last year.
We'll have to connect on that more. Yeah.
Sounds good. And then kind of going back to the last topic. So if you could double the amount of affiliates from any one category, what category would that be and why? Integration
partners. Precisely that. Yeah. So I mean, we've seen the value. It creates a stickier customer for everyone. It's also the incentives are there. It's a little bit easier actually to work with it. Assuming that team that we are working with has the same motivation that we do, it's a lot easier to work with them because we are directly working to the same goal. And it's not necessarily just about the money at the end of the day, which I find so interesting. And honestly, those are my favorite kinds of partnerships where it's like, yeah, the money is there, but it's not like an integration partner is going to suddenly turn you off because you stop paying them or something. There's more value beyond just the money. And also just the scale. So everyone has their customer list and everything. And as they're growing, we grow. And you're not just limited to their SEO traffic or something where it technically could be capped. But like as their business grows, like they're always going to be growing. We're always going to be growing. So the volume we know will always be there unless obviously a company goes under, but we don't want that to happen. Whereas for an affiliate, like a publisher or something, they might in theory be capped at some point.
Or they could just disappear one day when SEO rules change and suddenly they go from number 1 ranking to number 10 and you never see them again.
Exactly.
That's very interesting. Not what I expected for the answer. I figured everyone just wants more like content reviews.
I mean, obviously I do, but yeah, it's kind of an interesting time. I mean, you're asking me this like right when I am thinking about this stuff this past week, simply because those are the meetings that I've been in as well, is like, how can I work more closely with our integration team or other partnership teams? So honestly, if you asked me probably a couple of weeks ago, the answer may have been different. So maybe this is just top of mind. But
that's awesome. It's still really great to hear. It's awesome. So I remember you mentioning that you also have experience on the other side of the table as an affiliate. Can you talk about a couple of things that you wish every affiliate manager understood about the experience from the affiliate side?
Yeah. So I am an affiliate as well, and that's a recent thing. So I have a crafting blog, abcrafty.com. So this was something that I started sort of during COVID, beginning of last year, to just seeing other B2B affiliate managers starting their own thing at the same time and seeing their success. So colleagues, some friends, and myself are like, we really need to start our own thing. So then I kind of fell into this, and it's very funny and entertaining being on the other side. And the most interesting thing for me, and it's helped immensely for thinking about how I think about my own program at HubSpot, is what do I need as an affiliate? And by far, like the most frustrating thing as an individual, just starting out my blog and everything, and it's grown pretty rapidly in the last year, but like content is always the biggest issue. Like if a brand just gave me on a platter a post that had their links in it, like great, if it's SEO optimized, fantastic. Boom, I will make that immediately live because great, it drives traffic for me. Like that's all I'm looking for. Like at least for myself right now, my whole goal is to grow traffic to the site. So it's like, I'm still like, I want backlinks. I want content constantly. I want more things to be able to be ranking for. So it's an interesting thing to be like, oh, wait, are we doing that at HubSpot? Like, how should we be doing this better? Segmenting them as well. So me being a starting out blogger, that's what I'm motivated by. I don't necessarily need like affiliate commission at the end of the day. I want that traffic. And if you can write content for me, give me a backlink ideally, then perfect. That's what I'm looking for. And obviously you optimize it to how you want your stuff written and your product promoted. So it's interesting to see like that is different than someone else who's more established and wants to drive just revenue and just the numbers, but being able to think about it of like, okay, what stage are they at in their affiliate journey? Are they brand new to affiliate? What can we do to help them? How can we best support them? Obviously, some affiliates are better than others. Some are going to grow faster than others, but it's an interesting thing of being on the other side, figuring out day to day, man, what do I need? What do I wish a brand did for me? And then being able to do that on the affiliate management side.
Yeah. Two things on that. So first off, I wanted to go back to one point you made. Let me remember what it was. So with sort of like working with these affiliates and everything. Oh, there we go. So I like the idea of backlinks. I don't think I've ever heard of any brand being like, hey, as a part of becoming an affiliate and promoting us and creating content, like we will give you a link from our website, basically highlighting the fact that you create content for us, like that'll go on the media page, etc. Like having that as an SEO perk, that's not an insignificant thing, especially if you're a major brand. And I mean, it's not going to impact you to link to someone who wrote a legitimate blog about your content. If anything, it's a win-win situation. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was just I was talking to another B2B agency, and that was a lot of what his strategy was just basically create all of the major content pieces that your affiliates need so that they can easily produce their own stuff. They can work off that. They have it. And I think that there's probably a way to really speed up a lot of these. If you really want a content placement, you should be giving them 90% of the way so that they can finish it and choose you over the other stuff they're working, because every one of these companies, they're always going to have their biggest issue being time constraints. If you're a content website, there's only so much you can create, and that takes forever. So as the brand, if you can make it easy for them, you're going to really speed up that process for them to create content for you versus a competitor.
Exactly. And we've done it in the past. We haven't done it very well. And it's just lack of resources, purely lack of resources and time. And it's something we've wanted to iterate on. So again, back to things that I want to focus on this year. And really do well. Because in the past, the challenge with that is you write something, people just copy and paste it. And so then you have 20 not great sites having the same thing on it. So that obviously can be red flags. It's a concern. Yeah. So you have to do it well is the main thing. And you have to be very careful about it and do it well to make sure, like you said, getting them 90%, that other 10% is still them. So we want to do more of that.
Yeah. That's definitely something where getting more internal resources to provide that side I'm sure it will prove the ROI. Obviously, that's getting writers that are good and consistent is very hard to train up and do. So it's an ideal world where you can do this, but that's a really cool way to leverage the fact that you have more resources in the affiliate. Ideally, if you can convince everyone to give you those resources, I think that's a really good opportunity for growing programs.
That's the part. But we're HubSpot. You have all the, so that's where it goes back to that big brand thing. Yeah.
Those resources get distributed places.
Right, right.
This is kind of a tangent, but it makes me think of, so one of my favorite books about PR is this book by Ryan Holiday called Trust Me, I'm Lying. And he was the marketing director for American Apparel. And he was in that early wave of realizing that you could basically get so much free press by courting a little bit of controversy. So not obviously, like, this was before American Apparel really ruined their reputation, but in the early days, like, being a little bit edgy, a little bit controversial was like a very juicy story for journalists. So basically he would pitch them on a hook where he knew that the hook itself would drive a ton of readership. Basically, like, what is American Apparel doing now? Like, oh, did they do this thing? Like, basically pitching that to journalists got a ton of free press. And unfortunately, later years, we've seen how controversy can be easily wielded for this type of thing. But I think it is a universal truth that if you want someone to create content for you, if you give them a hook that is going to drive attention, it doesn't, like, you don't have to go down the dark controversy, but anything where it's like a little bit unexpected or a data point they don't know about that you know about, these are things that will drive viewership on their side of their followers, and it's going to make them much more likely to run content for you. And that's going to be as true for getting PR as it is for content.
Yeah.
Affiliate.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 second.
Dry cough. Gotta love it.
I love it.
The worst. Okay,
Oh, wow.
we're gonna give you like 5 minutes now. This is
Yeah, 1 more second. Apologies for the delay. Oh wow, my voice is gone.
I know. No, like, this is gonna be a bit.
What happened?
It's gonna, no, take your time. This is the worst.
That's what I get for talking too much.
Go get more water.
All right, let's try one more time.
I find slow breaths through the nose. That's what does, like, slow. Otherwise, we'll like do it again, like tickle it.
Are there any technologies or tools that you're using?
Yes. Main thing, Ahrefs. So for us, that's the big thing. I mean, we're basically SEO managers at this point.
Can you talk about a little bit about how you use it?
Yeah, that'd probably be helpful, right? Yeah. So it's we do a lot of, whether it's finding affiliates, sourcing new affiliates, finding content. So where do we want to be placed on an affiliate's site? So what are they ranking for? What keywords are they ranking for? And basically what we do is we search any kind of keyword related to Hubspot that we might fit in, see what they are ranking for. And that way we can say, hey, you have this page, we want to be placed in XYZ placement. Maybe here's some content for it. Here's the specific affiliate link you'll want to use for it. So not only just finding affiliates and like seeing who's ranking for what keyword, but also figuring out what we're calling content audits. So we'll perform those content audits based on what they're currently ranking for.
Awesome. And have you heard of Grovia?
Yes.
Any thoughts of that versus Ahrefs?
I mean, I haven't used it yet simply because HubSpot has Ahrefs. So I unfortunately don't know because we're using what we're using at this point. So yeah.
Because it'd be very interesting because it's a new partner for us. And so far it's been very promising looking because it does that sort of like, here's all the content for that keyword. Here's all the content placements by that partner. So it makes it really easy to deep dive into, okay, they're already promoting my competitor brand. They have a great content piece. Maybe they could also create a content piece for us. So it's something that we're checking out right now. And I mean, I've seen many solutions. This is the first one that's impressed me. So we will be exploring it more.
Yeah. Let me know how it goes. And I assume you've had experience with Ahrefs as well.
I've never used Ahrefs.
Oh, okay. So flip side. Yeah. So flip side. Yeah.
Yeah. So not throwing shade on that one. I've never tried it out.
Yeah.
Cool. And what is one common mistake that you see with affiliate programs that you would advise every affiliate brand manager to fix?
Ooh. I mean, one thing is treating the affiliate program on its own, I think is a pretty common mistake. So not partnering internally with SEO. And it was even a mistake that I made at Wayfair. So that's sort of where I'm seeing it. Not partnering internally with your SEO team, your partnerships teams, like whatever various partnership team there are, co-marketing, whatever it might be, your integration team. There's value to be had in treating it like its own little channel. And that's what I find so fascinating about affiliate marketing as well, is that typically within the industry, it is treated as its own thing. But the way I view it, it's a leg of partnerships as a whole. Also, if someone doesn't want commission, then it's technically not part of the affiliate program, which is kind of funny to hear. But I'm like, okay, but if I give you $10, then it's technically part of the affiliate program. So then I get credit for it. Like, that's just such a silly way to think about it. So that I would say is a common mistake, is even though it may not be affiliate because you're not paying, I guess, paying for something that you shouldn't pay for or like don't need to pay for, and B, partnering with all of your other teams and making sure that you're treating it more like partnerships rather than just affiliate. I know different companies have different goals, bureaucracy, all that stuff. But if we're thinking just partnerships as a whole, how to grow partnerships, like affiliate can evolve. It's not like you're stuck just giving someone a commission for something. You can make the case within your own team for where you see that evolving.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, personally, I think this is where we've been trying to push the most for, because I mean, my experience from the affiliate management side is just, there are so many silos. When you're an agency managing an affiliate program, you're always competing with your customer to some degree, because like they want everything to go to their paid media and their internal channels, regardless of the fact that the affiliate is the one that was responsible for driving the final sell. There's always a lot of back and forth about that, which is, and like the other issue is not, there's like funnels, like there are partners that are good at top of funnel and there are partners that are good at bottom of funnel, and then media buying can be in between all those spots. So in an ideal scenario, you would have both your media buying and your partnerships in the same place. So you could have first click attribution for influencers and content, media buying, coupon, things like that. Wow, this is a death of me. I'm sorry.
It will immediately stop right after this as well. Just you say, yeah.
Apparently used up my limit of talking for the day.
Right? Yeah. No more air for you today. You're done.
All right. I'm not gonna make any more points. I'm cut off from points.
Okay.
So if you were tasked with launching a new affiliate program tomorrow, what would be the first 3 areas you would focus on?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what I did at HubSpot. So commissions, like I said, figuring out commissions. So whether it's B2B, B2C, whichever program, you still have to figure out commissions and what you want to reward on. Obviously, finding affiliates. Where does your audience live? Look internally. Where are your customers right now? Where are they looking for content? Where are they looking in general to find information to even find you? So then, yeah, figuring out who those are then doing that, and those are your affiliates. Then starting to just build those relationships. So making sure both internally and externally. So internally with your partnership teams, make sure you're making the case. Make sure for at least at HubSpot, the numbers is what talks. So make the case with numbers of, this is why we need XYZ commission. This is why we need XYZ resource. Test things out. And yeah, so build those relationships internally and then start building those relationships with those affiliates. So once you find someone, hop on a call with them and get that relationship started.
Awesome. And in terms of building those relationships with the affiliates, do you have any tips around what really helped? Like, what is your approach for building a new relationship with, say, they have a great content piece that's very relevant and they should be doing more content pieces about HubSpot. How do you actually go about building that relationship?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's a lot of email outreach initially. No one at the company knows them, we'll just reach out to them and then hop on a call. So in terms of calls, I would say I'm not very typical and standard, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend be me and my strategy because I'm very direct and very like, yeah. So I mean, I'll treat some affiliates differently if I see that being myself is maybe not the way to go. But for me, I view it like we're all like the affiliates are just trying to make money. At the end of the day, this is my day job. This is just what I do. We're all just people. So for myself, that also just what makes me happy. So just being myself and just treating it as like a friendship, honestly, versus anything else, and getting to know them as a person. Because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, great, I made money, but also I have to like what I do. So sometimes that generally works. Like, I guess I haven't really had a bad experience yet. It's not like an affiliate has come back to me and been like, Daniela, you're way too casual with me. I don't want to deal with you. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend that because it has just happened to work out, I guess, for me. I mean, like that's how you and I met, was just very casually, and I was exhausted at Affiliate Summit, and I was probably like not the nicest of like somewhere, hey, HubSpot. And I was like, I do not want to talk to anyone right now. And then I realized who you were. I was like, oh wait, no, you were actually someone I want, like I was here to talk to you. And there I am, just like exhausted and very honest and transparent about what's happening. So for me, that's what has built relationships for me. That's what I enjoy. But I think the learning either way, however you want to actually approach the conversation, is it's still like being friendly. Like what has helped for HubSpot is genuinely just being friendly and being a person and not just making it about the numbers. It's also up to you. You might be very number focused. And for some partners, I don't approach it like that. I will not ask them how their weekend was or anything. It's very direct. And that's what that partner wants. And that's what they respond to. So it can vary. But for the most part, what I've seen, probably 80, we'll go to 80-20. For the most part, what I've seen, it's a person at the end of the line. Especially during COVID, everyone has the dog barking in the background. I personally want to know that dog's name, and you better immediately grab that dog and put it on the screen. So it immediately like breaks down barriers and makes the conversations much easier. And it's not just this, you just find that like, yeah, you just break down that shell, break down that wall as quickly as possible. Is what I find works really well.
I mean, that's still good advice though, for sure. Like build human connections, but mostly it's just emailing, being like, hey, this makes sense. Let's hop on a call. Let's build this human connection.
I will say, don't fake it though, mainly because I'm saying this. I mean, if you need to fake it, go ahead and fake it. I will immediately know when someone's fake with me, and I cannot stand that. I just hate a hard sell. I hate any of that. So I imagine others probably do too. So if that's not you, I wouldn't recommend doing that. And yeah, I don't know. It depends.
I mean, I think it must be even easier to do this, and like this is probably a really good thing for B2B type affiliate programs anyway, because anyone who's writing about B2B stuff tends to be very like in the know about B2B stuff. So even an affiliate who is a content one, like there's probably some really interesting things you can learn from them anyway, because if that's the world they live in, like there are always applicable things for, like especially in B2B, like everything is sort of applicable of like the sort of challenges there. You may be going after an entirely different market, but you're still going through the same sort of processes at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Cool. And is there any insights you can share about how you're planning to grow the program in 2022?
Yeah, I mean, one big thing is obviously we just got a new hire, so she'll be focusing purely on those one-to-one relationships. So she will be the main relationship builder at HubSpot. So I'll be passing on that torch. So yeah, a lot of just doubling down on the current relationships we have, building out our relationships even bigger. And then, as I've spoken to before, the integration piece and partnering with all of our other partnership teams at HubSpot and sort of unifying everyone together. Because we're another challenge, if you want to go back to challenges, being a big company, the internal challenge of being siloed. We are unfortunately guilty of that, where we have various partnership teams. We're talking to the same company. We don't even know that another team's talking to that company. They haven't told us that they're working with a new company that we want to work. And so like, I would love to get organized and make sure that we have like a clear partnership vision. It also just makes it easier for that partner to work with us and see like, what else can we do? So we have XYZ partners, and there's so many different legs and different branches that we can do with them, and make sure we're all working together and aligned on how to work with them and how, what else can we do, and get really creative with them.
Awesome. Yeah. I think that will continue to be a really interesting thing. I do think the whole rebranding of affiliate into partnerships is going to prove to have been a very smart decision by the people that started it and everyone who's followed afterwards, just because there was never any reason for affiliate to be so siloed from the rest of your partnerships, your referral relationships, all those things. Like, they all fit within the same box. And as we open up more ability for this like cross communication and tracking, like I do think that that is going to be something that most of the major companies with successful affiliate programs are going to be facing over the next year.
Yeah. And that's a challenge, is like, because it's a major hurdle because of the concept of affiliate that it has a name and it's not just partnerships. Meanwhile, all these other partnership teams are just called partnerships. It doesn't matter like what they're doing. It doesn't matter if they're getting paid or not. It cracks me up. So yeah, it's a hurdle, but it makes sense to me. It's just an internal struggle but that's the affiliate team.
Yeah.
No, it's not. If we stop paying them, then I guess, like, if a company comes back to you and says, we actually don't want the money, we'll do this for free, then it's not part of affiliate. Like, that doesn't make sense.
No, you did your job too good. How dare they want to just promote you?
Right.
You have to pass that to someone else who will do it bad.
Seriously, that's pretty much like the thought process at bigger companies. So it's definitely, like you said, a big hurdle. But I think, like you said, if you do it well, then it's a good shift. And that's where we'll be more successful.
Yeah. I mean, you still want to track them regardless of payout.
Yeah.
Everyone likes to know that they drove a bunch of customers. Like, it's still exciting for them. Like, you still want to have that reporting dashboard where they log in. They're like, oh, I sent like 20 conversions. I'm awesome.
Yeah. Cracks me up. That actually is also something that's interesting. Is like, how much data do you give someone? And that is, I will say, unique as far as like different partnerships of, do they want data? Do they not want data? If it's a refer a friend program versus something else, how much data do you give them? That are interesting challenges to solve.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. Cool. And then how can our audience learn more about you? And is there anything else you'd like to shout out?
Oh, learn more about me.
Or HubSpot. It could be either one. This is the promotion.
Like, you can period. Google my name, I guess. I haven't Googled myself in a while. I'm sure there's something there. Yeah, I mean, learning as far as the HubSpot program. Yeah, I mean, we're Google HubSpot affiliate program. I think we're HubSpot.com/affiliates/partners/affiliate, I think, is definitely one. For me, you can find me obviously on LinkedIn or my blog, to just throw that out there again, abcrafty.com. Actually, if you want about me, that definitely has an actual about me. So go ahead and Google me and you'll find me somewhere.
Awesome. And any final takeaways you'd like to leave the audience?
Yeah, I'm just excited. I mean, as far as if there's anyone there who wants to partner with HubSpot in some way, definitely please do reach out. I do sometimes check LinkedIn, but feel free to message me there. And if you send like a clear message of like, hey, I saw you on this, I'll definitely reply.
So on that note, I mean, obviously that's something we could definitely recommend. What is the ideal sort of partner for you in terms of, like, I know we talked about this stuff, but just like, if they do a certain vertical or they have a certain, like, is there anything that is just like the like sweet spot where you're like, I would love to get introductions to any company that has customers like this?
With a business audience is pretty much it. It's pretty much that simple, honestly. If you are talking to businesses, we want to be in a conversation with you. Ideally, it's so something that's unique with us is HubSpot has a partner program. So like partner program, which is previously branded, where that's our agencies, our consultants, our resellers, and that is completely separate. And that, I will say, is a very different thing for us than the affiliate program, where we've seen it just doesn't work. If someone wants to refer a client, refer an individual, the affiliate link does not get used correctly. They never get commission. We cannot do anything about it. It's very frustrating for all parties. So we send them to that program, the partner program. So for us, it's all about content. That's the big thing. So you may have a business audience because you're a consultant. Unfortunately for us, the partner program is where you want to go. So there is a place for you, it's the partner program. But for affiliate, it's all about content. So you may be a consultant and you have a blog. By all means, reach out, because we want to be listed in that blog. You should absolutely be creating listicles, all doing the whole thing, start ranking for yourself. We want to be included in all of that. You have a course that you put on, we want to be included in that. Any kind of content creation. Ultimately, if you are talking to a business, helping businesses, helping websites grow, whatever it might be, like I said, we're doing more in the WordPress space. We want to be talking to you.
Awesome. That sounds great. And we can definitely refer some people over to you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
All right. Well, I think that we'll wrap it up for today. Thanks again so much for your time. This is really awesome. There's a lot of really good insights that I haven't heard before. So I think a ton of takeaway. Yeah. And we have someone from the audience saying, this was great. Thank you. Thanks,
Michael and Michael. Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad we finally could figure this out. Months later. This is several months coming now.
That's the nature of things. It's no problem at all. All right. Thank you again and have a wonderful week.
Thank you. You too.
My voice has returned.
I know. I told you at the end, you're going to be fine.
Perfect. Thanks again.
Thanks, Michael. Take care.